Glenn, a defeat to Poole here at the Avenue this afternoon. What are your overall feelings on the game?
We're obviously hurting. The score line. I don't know if it's a reflection of the game. First and foremost, we have to give Poole an awful lot of adulation, not too dissimilar to Cheshire, but they're a very well organised and coached side, and credit to Tom and his management team. Although we set out to distort it, and I felt we did that in the early parts of the game, which was pivotal in us getting our noses ahead. And it's not the be all and end all, but we've conceded from 3 set pieces and a penalty, but they've obviously had a significant bearing in the game. We've had 2 or 3 chances, and you don't get too many chances against sides of this quality, so you have to be extremely clinical and ruthless, and I felt we were lacking that in moments of the game.
Going back to the start of the game, the opening 25-30 minutes, we looked really bright and on top, and Moisey put us ahead with I think it's his first goal for the club. I mean, pleased for him initially on a personal level to get his first goal. Yeah,
and we felt how he created that goal was how we wanted to set out. You think everybody could see in the Avenue that first 20-30 minutes we were on the front foot, and we were extremely aggressive, as were Poole. But unfortunately we couldn't sustain and maintain that. They're extremely experienced and resilient side and can weather storms. And I'm unsure we're in that position that we can do that just yet. And the teams are almost polar opposites at times. And don't want to take anything away from Moisey because he's been waiting a long time for that goal and enjoyed his moment, but the supporters would enjoy that moment. However, I don't think we enjoyed the rest of the game.
No, I mean, looking at it, that first Poole goal, I think we were down to 10 men as well. Lewis Waterfield was off the pitch getting treatment. I mean, did that sort of unluckiness play into it as well, do you think?
Yeah, that's the ruthlessness of a side, is when they go after you and they realise you're down to 10 men and you're not, or you don't have as much structure as generally you usually have, that they go after you, and Poole certainly did that. But it's not the catalyst and the pivotal reason. As I said, as the set pieces is the reason why we've been undone. We've been undone because we haven't been able to sustain that aggressive nature within our football that we set out to do, and that stops with me. I understand that. They need to put measures in place. It's probably too late this season to do that, but we've been doing an awful lot of reflection and reviewing, although it can be a little bit reactive during the season. Once the season's finished, the next 7 to 14 days, we can analyse it in a lot more detail and then choose, or the club and us, to decide which direction we go in.
I think we sort of mentioned earlier as well the scoreline. Do you have any qualms over the sort of the 5th goal, the penalty, and the 6th one looks slightly offside as well from where we were sat up in the stands, or not from your view?
No, I'm not gonna. I spoke to Emmo. He don't play the number of games and seasons he's had, but he's unsure it was penalty. We were unsure if it was in the box and the offside, but I'm not gonna sit here and say there are reasons why we lost the game today. We lost the game in many other departments today and in many other moments. So not them. Sometimes if it's the scoreline's 1-0 or 2-1 or something, it can sort of rile you a little bit with the officials' decision making. But I didn't think there was no criticism aimed at the officials today whatsoever. I thought they did a very good job. They were very warm and the communication was good, which is all generally you ask for as a manager.
Finally, obviously, it's been a tough Easter weekend for us, playing 2 playoff contenders. How do you pick the side up looking ahead to our final game against Hendon at home on Saturday?
That's what we've sort of been discussing over the last few weeks. It's a really unforgiving league. The young players who are playing, or the players who want to be here next season, it's a hard and arduous and good league full of good teams, good players, very well organised. and we have to try and give something back to the supporters and the club and finish on a positive. There were two really good fixtures. Our last fixture at home, Hendon. Our objective was 5 more points, so that hasn't changed. But obviously we need to win the last 2 games, which would have a little bit of significance in terms of the points total the club has produced over the years. So that would be a positive for us to lock onto. The players understand that in there. So we should all be picking each other up. We'll do our best as a management team to pick them up. But it needs to be a two-way relationship, that's for sure.
That's great. Thanks for your time, Glenn. Cheers.